Darwin has moved to Liverpool, and at first glance, this looks like an amazing signing for the club. Um, Darwin is a great player, a player which a lot of teams in Europe have been eyeing for some time now. Liverpool, especially. I think you can also put in Manchester United and maybe Tottenham as well. I think those three teams, especially, have been eyeing Darwin especially since that Champions League quarter-finals leg against Liverpool. Darwin's finishing in that along those two legs was just impressive, especially in that second leg at Anfield. Although a lot of goals were marked as offside, you could just tell that Darwin had that finishing in him. He's just that type of player that can get you those goals, even though he lacks a lot of things in his game. Again, this is a great signing at first glance. I want to look a bit deeper into this to see if Darwin is really going to help this team, if Darwin is going to have, close to the same impact that Mane had. There's a lot to ask for a player, especially considering the fact that Mane has won everything at Liverpool, every trophy that he could have won at the club. He has won it with Liverpool, at least. Yeah, he has. Maybe not the Community Shield, but who cares about that? So it is big shoes to fill. He won't be necessarily occupying Mane's position on the left side. He will be the striker for the team, but it's pretty much Mane leaves and then Liverpool go and sign him. I think that even if Mane did not leave this summer, that Liverpool would still be going in strong for Darwin. But the fact that Mane left, that he asked for a transfer, I think it just made it a bit more urgent for Liverpool to go and find a player like Darwin. And not only is the fact that Mane leaving put this sense of urgency on Liverpool, but also the fact that Liverpool want to keep up with City. City are probably done already in the transfer window this summer, because they've signed the players that they needed to sign. You look at City's team, and once again, they've done it 2 years in a row now without an out-and-out striker. Sure, you could say Jesus had a better season this year, but Jesus isn't really the same type of player that Aguero was, or the likes of Karim Benzema or Lewandowski, that proper number 9 that is just there week in and week out. Jesus was not that for City. City didn't really have that out-and-out striker, and they still managed to win the Premier League back-to-back. Sure, this year it was a bit more difficult, dropped a few points, and Liverpool did not give away too much, but they still got the job done and still got to the semi-finals of the Champions League. I think that with a striker, City can really win everything next season, because that was the main thing that they were lacking. And they didn't just sign any striker, they got 2 strikers. Haaland, the best striker under 25. I think that's pretty unanimous. Haaland is the best striker under 25, especially when you consider that Mbappe is more of a winger than a striker. Then they go Alvarez. I'll say top 3 strikers outside of Europe. Probably one of the best strikers in South America. You get Alvarez to play with the second team, or to come off the bench, and then you get Haaland to play in the Premier League and Champions League. That is a scary sight. A very scary sight. And then you have these 2 strikers being fed by the likes of De Bruyne, Foden, Gundogan, and whoever else. This City team is really, for every other team, is like, what's the point? What's the point of playing next season? This team on paper alone is impressive, and unlike the likes of PSG, City already have this winning history with Pep, and then they also have Pep. And Pep has shown, especially over the past 2 to 3 seasons, that even though he may not have the exact players that he wants, or when players get injured, Pep is able to adapt. Last year, from that period from November till the end of the season, especially the turnaround that Pep had on that team, the way he changed the team tactically was just extremely impressive. And Liverpool being City's main rival at the moment, the only team that can really compete with them, they needed to go and get Darwin if they want to keep this race going for any longer period of time. I also want to say, however, although I think Darwin is a good signing, I don't know how strong Liverpool will be next season. When you take away a player like Mane, a player that has given Liverpool 20 at least 20 goals every season. A player that has scored a wide number of not last minute winners, but winning goals for the team. A very impactful player. Swapping him, letting him go and then bringing in Darwin, I don't think that will be enough. Even if Darwin has a great season next season, will it be to the same level of impact that Mane had? And Darwin is good, but is he Mane good? And will the adaptation to the Premier League, how long will it take? You have players like Bruno that came to the Premier League and just got on straight away, but is Darwin going to be that? I hope he is. That'd be extremely entertaining for me, especially as a football fan, to see the Premier League become even more competitive. But bringing in these new talents as well just adds a breath of fresh air into the Premier League. But I don't know if Darwin is going to be that. Yes, this season he did score 34 goals in 41 games, which is extremely impressive. But again, this will be a new level, and these questions have to be asked because we can't ignore them. Darwin is a great player, but we can't ignore the fact that it may take him some time, and he might never really become that player that Liverpool fans and the Liverpool team want him to be. But just looking at Darwin's stats quick, last season he had 25 goal contributions in 43 games, that was 13 goals and 12 assists. And this year he's had 34 goals in 41 games played. Those are big numbers. He also had 4 assists this season, so really 38 goal contributions to 41 games. Darwin is a big player. He's also shown to be a big game player. Again, that quarterfinals leg against Liverpool and that round of 16 against Ajax. Darwin, at least from what we've seen, he looks to be the type of player that likes those big moments. I'm rooting for Darwin. I want him to do well, but I do have to ask these questions to really see if he's really going to fill the shoes of such a big player like Mane and the impact that Darwin had on the team. But anyways, guys, that's the end of the video. Thank you very much for watching the video to the end. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel for more game analysis, football history, individual performances, top 10s, etc. This is the beginning of something special, and it would mean the world to me if you subscribed and help me to grow this channel.